Hi, my name's Will and welcome to the Distorted Transmission, a show that features the heavier end of music, I guess you might say. Today I've got an interesting band in from Auckland called Grym Rhymney, is that correct?
Yeah, so on.
Cool. Could you guys introduce yourselves and the instruments you play, starting from the side?
I'm Albie, I play guitar and vocals.
I'm Kester, I play the drums.
I'm Jamie, I play bass and do vocals.
I'm Spencer and I play guitar.
Cool. I looked you up on social media and I found that your social media history started around June 2020, which is about the time that you released, was it an album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 11 tracks,
Yeah.
I believe. What was the name of that album?
Wake in the Silence. That was an album we were working on, me and Jamie specifically were working on for quite a while before we came together as a full band. And then that around the time we released that is when we kind of found some other people and started playing some gigs and stuff.
Did you actually produce that one yourself? Or
Yeah, that was all me and him.
Well, we actually met at Mainz studying music production. So
Mainz again.
yeah, so ended up meeting there, and then I think that was 2017 we met. And then it was about 3 years of that before we finally released the album.
It's kind of unusual for just two members to release an 11-track album straight off the bat. Why did that come to pass? Was it a bunch of material that you've been sitting on for a while and you just sort of threw it out all at once?
There were a few songs that I cannibalized riffs from older songs that I had, but most of that stuff was new material.
Okay.
At the time.
I think we just thought it was a good idea to, we'd kind of thought we wanted to get quite tight as a band and then have a full album and something that we could kind of go and play shows and have in the back.
You kind of needed a chunk of material to move forwards with.
And I've seen too many bands kind of do that, release 30 different EPs in a row. And it's like you never get like a substantial piece of, work from them, and it's sort of thought it was a good idea to just start with that, and then...
Well, I suppose that was because there was only two of you at the time.
Yeah, well, that was a problem. Like, we were, there's not exactly a massive selection of musicians in Auckland, so, we kind of wanted to, have something to show potential band members to be like, yo, this is what we sound like.
Good musicians, anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I guess we should touch on the history of the bands then, since you've already indicated there was just two of you to start with.
Me and Jamie met at Mainz, and I already kind of had a project going, and he jumped on board. A good mate of ours was playing guitar for a while, but he's kind of got his own sort of thing, so recently Spinny and Kester both joined on guitar and drums.
Do you think they were the right fit for the band? Did them joining, I should say, alter the sound of the band? From their influences and whatever.
I think it will do as we go into writing some new stuff. At the moment we're still playing all material that was already written before they joined.
Because you also released an EP as well in November. Were you two involved with that at all? Or?
No, that was the last. There's been a few different iterations of the band at this point.
Right.
Usually it's, me and Albie have obviously, since I joined, I've stayed, and since then we've had 4 drummers, 2 guitarists.
More members than gigs?
Yeah, DJ in the band, just everyone coming and going. So the good thing with these two is they both seem pretty keen. They haven't decided to leave yet. So.
Yeah, as the dynamic we've got going now is a lot better than it's been in the past, so that's cool. A plus for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a plus in a band for everyone to be on board and to be enthusiastic and sort of share the vision, if you will. All right, cool. You also mentioned before we press record that you have some other recording going on and you're going to be releasing something else soon.
Probably another EP for now. That, as you said before, working on a full album is a bit of a task, and we learned that with the first one. The
attention span of the world has shrunk to the point where everyone likes singles and social media particularly likes you to be releasing something regularly. Even the dude from Spotify was complaining because people weren't releasing music fast enough, and he got a bit of flack for that. So I would say that releasing smaller blocks of music is probably, by today's standards, a good thing to do. So you're currently writing it. You haven't actually really formulated the songs.
We've got about like 2 songs in the works, and then like bare bones for other tracks that will be.
Are you sort of the more modern band who sort of throws things backwards and forwards online and then put things together in a DAW, or do you?
We do tend to get in the room with each other, but it's usually a kind of a duo situation. Like 2 of us will get together at a time, and
it's more focused, I suppose.
Yeah, like I find it more efficient to do it that way. Like sometimes you get like kind of too many cooks in the kitchen with 4 people in a room trying to write a new song, you know.
I presume you'll be doing some kind of album release, or
we will probably sort that out a bit closer to the date. We've got nothing cemented right now for like a release show or anything, but we do have a show coming up on July 30th with Swamp Coal Records.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit about Swamp Coal Records? You mentioned it before we started recording.
A friend of mine, Sean, is making a like kind of indie record label. He's had it going for a while, but he's recently kind of revived it and started trying to organize gigs and distribute bands' music and that sort of stuff. And we've been helping him with that.
How does he distribute music?
At the moment, he's just doing like physical stuff. So like,
CDs, I guess.
Yeah. But he's looking to get into doing like digital distribution in the next year or so.
Is he looking at doing like vinyl distribution or anything like that, or is it still?
Vinyl would probably be a while away because it's very
vinyl's difficult,
expensive to
the press and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's making cassettes, which obviously a lot cheaper, but you know.
Kind of he's been a part of the like dungeon synth community and that sort of stuff, and they all love their cassettes.
Yeah. Old school stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what are your opinions on cassettes? I mean, I grew up with cassettes.
I haven't spent a lot of time listening to them, to be honest. Like most of I don't think I have anything in my house that would play a cassette. I've still got like CD players.
The technology's kind of it's been and gone.
I do remember some friends when we'd go to Real Groovy as teenagers and stuff would go diving through the cassette bins, and like it did seem pretty good considering how cheap you could find stuff. Like it's like $2 considered, versus like a $40 or $50 EP buying it on vinyl. Which was pretty cool, but I never actually had anything that would play them, so never actually got into it.
Yeah, I think I got a Walkman when I was about 10, and it was a new thing back then, and it was the coolest shit.
The
coolest shit. You could walk around and listen to music, like, with a battery.
Yeah.
Connected or anything. It was amazing. It was space age. But of course now with the advent of everyone's phone has got more music than you could possibly ever listen to. So it seemed a little bit defunct to have this thing that over time will stretch. You got to rewind it if you want to listen to a particular song. You got to press fast forward or rewind and then try to find it, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there is a place for it. I suppose it's nostalgic.
I don't think it's something I'd want to go away. I don't see it getting massive or overtaking Spotify, but like I definitely think there is a market for those people who really like that.
I guess there's that kind of analog.
I think that's what it's about is still that it feels more analog than Spotify, I suppose.
Well, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we would ever try and release anything on cassette, just because.
I mean, me and Ginge talked about it. I mean, I was kind of like, we'll go hard, but I don't think that heaps of Grym Rhymney fans are in the market for cassettes.
You can always release a single. They used to be called singles. Like have a single song on each side. No, just
a bad idea.
Just for a laugh, for like a collector's item.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the bands that he releases cassettes for, it tends to, from what I can tell, like people tend to buy it more as a token, and then inside it will actually have like a Bandcamp download, and like like
the digital.
Yeah, they don't probably listen to the cassette. They probably go and
vinyl's the same. Like you buy it, and there's a code inside.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, back to the band. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe future plans, I suppose, is something to touch on. Yeah,
essentially, right now we just want to like focus on playing as much gigs as we can and really work on our like live set.
How many gigs have you played up to this point?
In the current iteration, we've only played 2 together, but we've played about
6 or 7.
Yeah, about something like that.
So
in the
still
last
pretty
year
early days, eh?
Yeah, still pretty early days.
The first time I heard of you guys was when we played at Ding Dong together just recently. And I thought, who are these guys? And I checked you out, and it sounded pretty good, so I thought I might get you in and have a chat.
Sweet as, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for coming in.
Interest.
Thanks for watching, and everyone say goodbye.
Awesome.
See you later.